Hi guys. Welcome to this reading. It's now, what time is it? Almost 7:40 on Sunday night. I've had ample time to do this all weekend, but I don't know. I've kind of worked at it bit by bit all weekend, if that makes sense. And it's kind of worked out that way because more things came out. I have a cough drop. I'm like 80. My mom used to get these when I was little. But they're like chewy, not hard, whatever. Anyway, so I've been doing this since, what's today, the 19th, so the 17th. And it was late, so it was like 17th into the 18th for the new moon in Aries energy. It's a potent cosmic reset. I have a bunch of notes I'm going to read right now before I get into the actual reading. I did the pre-shuffle and all that first because I feel like a lot of this is what adds to the length. So, that was my initial thought when I was doing this first pre-shuffle, but then, like I said, it just took a little time. So, the new moon that we just had, it's initiating new cycles, personal growth, and the willingness to take bold actions. The Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, and Neptune are all in Aries, which is rare. So, to take, advantage of all this stuff going on, you don't want to, plan, envision your goals, really picture where you want to be, what you want to be doing. Choose to be your authentic self through this. This is not for anybody else but for you, and that's when it's going to come to fruition, when it's a genuine goal, genuinely from your heart, something you are desiring, practice self-assessment to safeguard against mindlessly returning to old patterns. When the newness and excitement wears off of your big changes and stuff like that, where does that lead you? Be aware, be self-aware. And this is a good time to start. With the planetary alignment, the energy will be supercharged. So it's going to cause possible impulse control issues or anger issues. Try to focus that energy on something positive. If you notice those feelings starting to come up. So that's a little tidbit about the new moon. So for the pre-shuffle, I really don't know how to say this without completely sounding corny, because it's gonna, but one of you out there who needs this reading, you've been chosen for sure by the divine, whatever you call God, whatever it is that is your creator, whatever you believe in. If you believe we're in a simulation, whoever created it, right? Whatever. You've been chosen to can be protected in a way. If that makes sense. I'm gonna shut my window. My daughter's gonna be playing Fortnite soon, so you might hear that through the wall. So you've been chosen right now to be given a chance. And I feel like you have had chances in the past. And however the situation's turned out, it's different this time for whatever reason. Your light is important enough for you to be assigned like a guardian of sorts, in a way. This sounds so like crazy, but this is what's coming through. You definitely have like a guardian angel of sorts. And they're there to like nurture the places of your soul that you can't bear to shed light on. Like you can't even think about thinking about it. Let alone try to like face and heal this thing, right? Or whatever they are, whatever your things are. So you have the potential to shapeshift in a way to be anything you want. Your guide is here to protect you to a certain degree, to give you kind of like a little breathing room as you learn to make the best decisions for yourself, to achieve the vision of your life that only you know. You've probably never told anybody what your real like passion is, or what you really want to be doing, or you know what really would make you be you, right? This is it feels like kind of like a last ditch effort. You know, the miracle card came out. I'm gonna put a picture of what the spread was. I did take a picture. This pre-shuffle was all oracle cards. I didn't use any tarot for the pre-shuffle. For this one. So the miracles, it was a miracle card. And it tells you to like pay attention to all of the miracles in front of you, big and small. I believe they want me to like get home the message not to squander any opportunity because of ego. Karmically speaking, if you think like anything being offered to you is like beneath you, right? Be careful, because this could be a test. Like, well, how humble are you? How much do you really want this? Or is this like, I want it, but I don't want it that bad, right? To get my hands that dirty. Just be careful what opportunities you pass out or stick your nose up to. That's kind of what I was getting. Like, you are not above anything right now. I feel like, yeah, like, again, it feels kind of like less ditch effort. Yeah, I think, like, you do have it in you, but you're only going to start moving forward if you, surrender to the universe and start to trust the process. Remember, your way hasn't worked. Not long term. Not so far either. So in order to do this, you have to learn how to allow yourself to take down your walls and open up your energy. The walls keep the bad out, but it also keeps the good out, and it keeps the bad in, right? And it keeps the good in. It's just it's a hard thing to do, but in order to move forward, you have to leave the house, right? You have to start to break down some walls a little bit. Once you accept the reality of the situation and what it takes to start making moves that you want, don't allow the fear of failure to creep in and cause you to hesitate and second guess. Trust yourself. Trust things that you've been thinking about over and over and over again, but just haven't, for whatever reason, been able to get going, right? While you're starting everything up, if you choose to, and things kind of start moving fast, don't let this momentum of glee and action kind of force you into any hasty decisions. Take time and pause still, and be sure that whatever choices you're making align with your desired path in a genuine way, before you agree to anything. Spirit, excuse me. Spirit also wants you to be aware of victim mindset. Yeah, the self-sabotage trap. Oh, no one wants to help me. Oh, this manager just doesn't like me, right? It's not my fault I was driving my car illegally and got impounded and I can't get to work. It's yours because you didn't let me borrow the money when I asked you. And I told you this was going to happen. That's clearly very specific, but I heard that as I was writing. I was just like, oh, that manager didn't like me. And I was like, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. So, I know a couple people who might actually say that. Yeah, don't be a number 3. Number 3 is a narcissist, I wrote. Before you can achieve any of this, you have to make peace with yourself. And one way to start is by learning that no is a full sentence, and it doesn't require an explanation. That's huge. You have a lot of choices and decisions, decision making ahead of you. If you want a fresh start, be brave and stop trying to control the narrative. And also take a look at any vices you may be entangled with that could be hindering your growth. This came up in my very last reading, which was a couple weeks ago, but wait until I get to the second half of the pre-shuffle. It's somebody, I'm calling it now, somebody has issue with alcohol. I do believe that So 11 months could be significant. Either way, like before or after this reading reaches you. At the time of right now, 11 months ago was May of 2025. And 11 months from now will be March of 2027, if that matters to anybody. I rolled some dice, and it landed on, 2s on top. And then it was a 4 and a 3 in the front. Now, yesterday morning, because I was planning on doing it then, I did a little pre-shuffle in the morning. And what came through, this was with tarot cards. This is with the tarot cards I'm going to use. In order to be a responsible, grounded leader of your own life and truly have independence, you have to do it yourself. Step by step, no shortcuts. People will come along that can be a support in a way, or offer you an opportunity, etc. But you have got to do the work, right? You can't just jump into somebody else's boat and be like, look at me. Right, I did it. No, you got on someone else's boat. Great, awesome job. Good job swimming, right? I mean, I don't know. But like, have you ever done anything for yourself, or has everybody else been like, I have this job for you, I have this apartment for you, I have whatever, right? Like, to go and knock on a door of a building because someone down the street told you someone was in there fixing it up and they were going to rent it sometime in the future, and be like, I heard you have an apartment for rent. That's going to get in that. That is going to get that, right? Clearly I've done that. When your boss at a job tells you, you know, when you were first hired, and you're waiting for the district manager to call, I told him, like, listen, you need to call this girl back because, call this girl back or get a restraining order on her because she is either going to be the best salesperson we've had or she's crazy. Cause I kept calling, like, I haven't heard from this guy yet. It's unprofessional. I digress. You need to do it yourself. You can have support. You can be like, I don't know how to do this. Can you help me learn how to do this? And sure, I'll teach you how to fish. I think along the way, with the prior chances, you may have had, I think you had more support. And, you know, if you had taken the opportunity any of those times, I think it would have been easier. I think you had more support than you do now, still. But I think you burned a lot of bridges. That's what I think. I think it got harder and harder every time you had to be like, please, I've learned my lesson to this guy. And it was like, alright, if you say so, and you miraculously got another chance and blew it, it probably got a little harder to get out of that. I'm just saying. However, that's how you had to learn. You know, if you do it this time, then awesome. All those other times, they still count. Because you learn, and now you look back, you can be like, not so close. You know, there was, you know, something you needed to learn, or do, or experience, you know, in life before you were able to, be presented with this next chapter coming up, and be ready for it. So that might not be your fault. Someone else could have been like stalled in their path that was a key component to whatever it was you had to learn, right? So you had to be stalled until they caught up. It's like, what, you can't, everything happens when it does. When it does. You know, and whatever your ailments are, it looks like you may be at the point where you're ready to like talk about some stuff with a couple people, like people you've known like since you were a kid, like went to school with. Like something's bothering you that much that you're not stuffing it down. I think initially there may be that fear of failure. But when you like look back and assess all that you've been through and learned and loved and lost, you are tired, you know, and thinking of all those chances, and you may be realizing only now how important those moments you disregarded were. And you have almost like an ache when you think about it, like, oh my god, like you really weren't in it in the moment, and it was just like another day, you know, and it wasn't like you weren't seeing your impact. Just playing Fortnite now. Yeah, it's like an ache. And like a need, once you have this realization, to make good on your life. Now that you see everything. And you might be afraid it's too late, and that this is your karma. That it's too late and you can't really fix anything. I am nobody's judge. I don't know what this is even about. Only you do. I don't know if it's like I don't think it's kind of like that with karma. It might bite you in other ways. I don't think it's like a leprechaun waiting. And this is where I was like, other things started coming out, and I said, I do believe that someone, this is for an alcoholic. And I think you are realizing or admitting this out loud, maybe for the first time, in like a serious way. Like not like, oh yeah, I'm not alcoholic, or I'm like the drinker of the group, or whatever. I have a fucking car bar. That's an inside joke. Like, you know you have to stop for good. And this means you have to drop the facade that it's like not a big deal. Yep, and you are going to have to use whatever tools you have to do this. And you can do it. As long as you stand firm in your decision. And, you know, make that plan to how to go about taking action. You know, to take action, to just do what needs to be done, basically, is what I said. What spirit and the divine are guiding you towards will always be your highest good. It will always be your highest good. If you stop and listen to what your inner voice is telling you, there's no ulterior motives. There's no anything but what's good for you. Literally, not what everybody else tells you is good for you. If you learn to listen and give up control on whatever you thought was the best for you, because it clearly wasn't. In order to be successful at, closing out the old chapters and cycles, you have got to be, sure, you are willing to fight for your life and do what's best for you, no matter what. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to stop drinking if you've always done it, if it's like part of your routine. Even if you're functioning, even if it's like whatever, it's going to be hard. Especially socially, you're going to feel like a 15-year-old about to throw a fit when someone offers you a drink and you have to be like, no, just because you stopped drinking, and not because you're on like a 30-day crazy diet that's like no alcohol, or like you're pregnant, or because I'm not drinking because blah blah blah. Saying one of those things and saying I'm not drinking because it turned into something negatively affecting my life is a much different sentence. And that's harder to just be like, even to your closest friends, be like, yeah, I have an issue. And I'm not saying it's not a big deal. It is a big deal, but it's not, if you have people who care about you, A, they know, and B, I'm sure they'll be happy to help you and not care if they, and probably not drink around you. You probably don't have to ask them. People who care about you, you're not going to have to ask them, like, can you not drink around me? They're just probably not going to. And it's probably good for them, too. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. If you do choose to go that route, and you kind of get over the initial hump, and you start to kind of, like, see things, clearly. Differently, probably looks a lot different, like, sober, honestly.
Got it. I've added that to your library.
I'm not gonna question her. It's gonna be pretty eye-opening. With one thing leading to another, each realization, ultimately, you'll now have time and the mental clarity to kind of figure out what it is you believe is your happiness. What does this all bring you towards? What's like the end game? And what do you want now that you have choices? You don't have to keep doing the same thing. You deserve your independence and to live the life you want. But you have work to do to show you believe you deserve it. Back to like the self-love. Don't be frustrated or disappointed if it takes a little longer than you like. Now that you are really ready to make the changes, you are kind of like weeding through the garden. You're weeding through the garden that you planted seeds years ago. And you're reaping what you sown. You have to get through all that and get the soil ready for the new seeds. So it takes time. You gotta be patient. You're learning to recognize what's weeds and what's flowers. Not everything deserves to be planted. hold on to your goals and your reasons, etc. And be sure to hold, every baby step forward close to your heart. Even if no one else sees it or knows about it. You will be rewarded with a gift from something to feel passion for. Maybe like helping someone like yourself, like helping people like yourself in some type of way. Alright, so I think for the actual reading part, I'm going to flip the camera down so we can see the cards. I just wanted to tell you guys, like, literally, there's something either you're meant to do or meant to influence, or some impact you're meant to have on while you're here on Earth, because the divine keeps giving you chances, like, alright, let's try it again. I say the same thing. I think I had my first, like, awakening, per se, later on in life, because I feel like the last lives, I probably messed up way earlier, when it counted. They were like, alright, why don't we just let her do a thing for a little bit, and let's get her in the second half. Then she'll probably get it. Ta-da! But you can do whatever you put your mind to. Alright. I will, start the reading. Okay, guys. We are back. I did have, an ice cream sandwich. They're Oreos. They're like big Oreos. It was pretty cool. I was happy with it, if I do say so myself. So, the spread I will do is called Cut to the Chase and Face Your Fears. I thought that was an appropriate one when I looked through. I almost made a new one for it, just because it's been so, like, entailed. But I did not. Spirit, let's wrap up this message, this reading, this guidance that someone out there needs. Thank you. I can't live a bit much. Oh, I also had a chart. I don't know I think I did a post about this. I made it. I had this feather. And then this. I think it had like bath salts in it. It has like herbs and crystals. And each of these little feathers, I told you about this. I tied together. I love it. Alright, so, first, I am just gonna get, your vibe for today, for right now. All I'm doing, well, you know, whenever the reading reaches you, all the readings are timeless, of course, and, I, just want to see where we're at. So we'll get a little vibe check, and then I'll lay out the spread. Why I chose to do this now is beyond me. Beyond me. I have been a schlub all weekend. That's okay. I feel like I say this all the time. I'm so tired by the time the weekend comes. I can't help it. I see people do so many videos. I'm like, how do you have like the willpower? Alright, spirit. You know what? Let me ring a little bell here. Okay. Can you give me, what is my collective vibe for today? Whomever's message this is, where are we at with this? I feel like any of the messages come. Oh, but that's what I wanted to mention. In the pre-shuffle with the oracle cards, it was 5 different decks that I used, and you know, 2 or 3 cards for each one came out, and they all stayed in theme with one another. So I thought that was noteworthy. Queen of Air. See what else comes out. Definitely trying to use your thoughts, you know, use your intellect. But are you negotiating with yourself? Light a fire. I feel like you are trying to use your intellect to figure out what is the best and most efficient way to, you know, like slice down this issue that's, you know, making you tired. You know, it's tiring. You walked a long road, you know, and I think you're, assessing the situation, looking back and assessing the situation, and, trying to figure out how best to use the tools you have, to make it work. So I feel like maybe you are in like the assessment stage. And it's like you really want something to happen, but you want to be smart about it, and you want, I think you want to be comfortable about it. You know, I think a lot of the boxes you are trying to check off. Let's see. So, 2 of water, 10 of earth. I wonder if somebody has actually either given you an ultimatum to get your shit together. Yeah, someone who you've met or come into your life or whatever, is kind of making you see that the abundance in the end is possible, right? Yeah. And I think that's what started it. So right now you're like kind of like this page with the spark ready to take some action. This might have been like an inspiration. So you're trying to figure out the best way to go about it. Let's tower at the bottom. Because you know it's gonna come tumbling down. But at least it seems like you have a little control over it. I was gonna put these to the side in case I need to reference them, but I think I get the gist. I'm so sleepy. What time is it? 9? That's not bad. It's not even a little over an hour. I don't think this is gonna take that long. For some reason. Alright, thank you, Spirit. This has been an awesome weekend of messages. for me, anyway. Let's see. It's my collective spheres. These are as shuffled as shuffle is gonna get, so I'll go to quick. With that one here, even though it's not where it goes. Alright. So. And we have one, two, three, your current fears or concerns. 4 is the root cause. 5, 6, and 7 are things that are outside of your control. And 8, 9, 10 are actions you can take to help face your fears. And this is your future energy. Alright, so current fears and concerns: the High Priestess, the Empress, and the Seven of Swords. So, the Hangman pop out. So the High Priestess, the Empress. So the Empress, I feel like you're established, and I think that's part of the fears of making whatever change it is that you have to make. Whether is struggling with an addiction, whatever the issue is for you. I think your, I don't want to say status, but kind of, appearance of the level of your stability, I think you feel like is in question. I think with the high priestess being a fear or concern, I feel like now that, again, I'm taking the alcohol route because that's what I feel like this is. Honestly, I feel like there are other messages clearly for other people, for sure. But the main one, I feel like, is this. So I feel like now that I feel like you are like, even though now you're realizing it and deciding that you need to take action, right? I feel like you've known. And I feel like you've known. And I feel like now you're like, well, if I've known, other people know. Excuse me. Right? So I think there's that running through your head. I think you're overthinking a lot of things. I think you're thinking of every avenue. I think you're thinking of everything that brought you to this place. And I think you're observing your surroundings. And I think you're trying to predict other people's thoughts. Or judgment, or who's going to be supportive of you. Seven of Swords, I feel like, is you're quietly doing this behind the scenes. I think you're making a strategy. I think if you could just slip away, take care of it, and come back and just act like nothing happened, you would. The root cause, wow, fitting. The devil. Yeah, 100%. The devil. The things that bind you. And this one is like over and over and over and over and over again, right? Yeah. This is like a cycle. Again, I feel like maybe you quit drinking in the past for whatever reason, like you had to, for whatever reason. But it was like, I only have to do this until this date, right? So there was like an end. And now you're like, I have to do it forever. I'm like, I can't ever just like have a glass of wine. Well, no, you can't. It's so hard. Things that are outside of your control. 5 of Cups, 3 of Wands, Ace of Cups. Okay. You know, things that are out of your control. You're gonna have, people who are your party friends who are not gonna really be around as much. And that can be any age, right? And level of party, right? Doesn't mean you're, like, thrown up in the middle of the street. It could be you have wine and play Scrabble on Saturdays. Whatever, you know, that might stop. You know, they might go to Tina's now because she still has wine. You know, so it's gonna be that kind of thing. You're gonna feel kind of like mournful of the quote-unquote fun, good, the pros, right? The pros, the social settings, the stuff like that. Ace of Cups, taken as, you know, people are gonna be offering you drinks, for sure. So that's out of your control. When that happens, you have to just politely make your escape plan. But you're also going to have people who support you. So whomever is willing to support you that's out of your control too. Nothing is in your control but yourself, essentially. Three of Wands, what the future holds, what's coming in at you. Now that these changes are happening, essentially going to be a positive thing, but you're going to have to wait and see what comes in. What is the boomerang repercussion? You're going to see what's the reverb, what's the reactions. Those are the things that are out of your control. But don't be too wrapped up in the things you can't do anymore because of giving this up. Think of, the things that now you can. Like not be hungover. So, things that are out of your control, action you can take. Six of Cups, Champion of Pentacles, Oracle of Cups. I think understanding this is a long-term road. You're always going to be carrying that pentacle, right? There's not really an ending, but the journey is even slow going, and that's okay. There's no rush. You don't have any place to be except for in your own life, right? So what you could do is you can instead of waiting to see who sticks around and who's genuine or not, reach out to the people who you know are, to the people who have known you since you, before this version of you existed, right? Who care about you and who are like your foundation or who feel like it. If you don't have your family, who is your mate family that are solid, even if it's one person, whoever makes you feel that way, whoever touches your inner child, have them around you, and also, again, back to self-love. Learn to take care of yourself, because I'm guaranteeing you have not been taking care of your body the way you should be. And you probably have things that are coming up and you're like, I don't know why this is coming up. Well, I have an idea why it might be coming up. So when the doctor's like, what have you been doing different? You're like, nothing. Nothing. But you fail to mention the 2 bottles of wine that you drink a night, because it's not different. It's not different. But it's not supposed to be like that. Again, I'm not judging. Listen, I get it. It's like, why save this little bit? I'm not going to drink that tomorrow. Just drink it. I get it. And it looks like you're getting it too. So your future vibe, if this continues on the same trajectory as this looks like, the Champion of Swords is, now that you you sat back and overthought everything, made your strategy, you're taking action now. I feel like you just needed a little bit of clarity, so maybe you started the process a little bit, and now you're like, alright, but remember, don't lose it when the newness wears off. It's just, you're looking at things from a different perspective. And whatever made that happen, again, it could be a person you're around, or something like that, that made you aware, like, I want to feel like that, or I get that, that's how I felt, or I feel, yeah. Alright, let's clarify. I guess maybe this is how it's going to be. I'm just going to post like one real long video every week or so. It's alright. I just could not do it. I could not get myself to do it. I was like, I'll just take a nap first. I wanted to do everything else but make a video. I just needed to. I was so tired. A Princess of Pentacles on the bottom, so that's the Page of Pentacles. So yeah, that's a spark of like something tangible. You're like, look at, this is what I'm gonna do. I think this is a sign of like you're getting ready to be like, this is the plan. Let's go. And I love that, but just, you're not like, this isn't a new job. This is like, this is hard. I've had so many family members die from alcoholism. That's why the Serenity Prayer was up around my house. And no one really bothered to tell me that that's why I'm the youngest by many years. Yeah, so here we are. Yep, I'm gonna get that covered eventually. I mean, I love it. It served its purpose because I did need it. I needed it where I could see it. Just for life in general, because it's true for everything. If you put it to, if you break down each sentence, you know. And it was good. And I'm good. So now I have 2 tattoos I need to get done over that are the biggest ones I have. So it's fine. It's fine. Alright. I think my fingers are dried. I'm gonna need this little thing. Alright. Spirit. Spirit. You hear my voice all cracked. I'm like a 13-year-old boy. Alright. Please tell me. Oh. 3, 2. I never look at the numbers. I should be more aware of that. Alright. Tell me about the Empress, the High Priestess, and the 7 of Swords. The current fears and concerns for collective. I might just lay it out. I don't mind doing it that way. Yeah, I'm just gonna lay it out, guys. Maybe if we use the next deck, I'll see if they come out. Oh, sorry, little guy. Holding on to that status. Alright, so it looks like to me with the Nine of Swords over the High Priestess, I feel like that is confirming the overthinking and the analyzing of everything, and I think it's absolutely giving you anxiety and keeping you up at night. You know, again, the Empress with the Four of Coins, I feel like that's confirming kind of like how I felt earlier, how it's kind of like, some of it's like a status, quote unquote, issue, and you're trying to hold on to some of the image of who you are to other people, because some of what you've crafted is true. You know, a lot of what you crafted is true. It's just shellacked a little bit more to the other people. With the Ten of Swords or the Seven of Swords, yeah, I feel like that's, you know, confirming you're trying to get your strategy to put an end to this for good. Eight of Swords over the Devil for the root cause, yeah. You know, what you're bound to will for sure keep you like you're stuck inside of your head and you can't find a way out. Also, depending on, I say alcohol, but it can be anything, depending on what your drug of choice is. It could be to be stuck in your head, right? Yeah. So there's that. And then with things that are outside of your control, you know, the feeling the loss of having to walk away from people now that you have the knowledge that you do. Yeah, that's out of your control. What's coming towards you from the future, with the Four of Cups over the Three of Wands, you're not always going to want what's coming towards you, but also remember it mentioned to be aware and notice all the miracles, big and small. So don't be so focused on what you think is supposed to come in that you miss what is coming in. And that starts with the love of self. That starts with the love of self. And you can't control who is going to be supportive of you, who is going to be offering you drinks, but you can continue to be the Empress regardless of any of these things. Things that are in your control that you can do to help face your fears while you go through this. Queen of Cups over the Six of Cups. Yep. Be around people who are going to love you the way you should love you. Right? Nurture yourself in a way and vice versa. And you should be taking care of yourself the way someone you would go to for care would. Being prepared for the long road ahead. Also, it's going to be really important to continue to listen to your intuition. Because that's what kind of started you down this road in the first place. I feel like something happened. You're like, huh. It always starts with a Yeah, Oracle of Cups, and this is, another Queen of Cups was down first, so that's confirmation in what you can do, which is taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, loving yourself. Also, allow others to, and share that joy with others. Let other people in, and find ways to do it without your vice. Literally, the Vices card came out in the pre-shuffle. I'm gonna put a picture up. Ten of Wands over the Champion of Swords for your future vibe. I feel like taking the swift action once you have all the knowledge is going to be a completion of, I think, deciding that it's actually too heavy to carry anymore. I think that's over with. There's no question anymore. That's what I think is coming to an end. And so you have to move forward. Let's see if there's anything for this Hangman that popped out. No. I think it's just gonna be like, take your time. Again, referencing the pre-shuffle, take your time and pause before you make big decisions, before when you get overwhelmed, because you will get overwhelmed. And give yourself some grace and nourish yourself and be around other people who love you. And take care of your inner child. Because you have so many other things that are just wonderful about you. I think that's good. I don't think I have to go around again. So just Knight of Swords. Ooh, again. Knight of Swords, yeah. You're taking swift action towards, you're gonna tackle this issue. I'll just get one of my little guys here. I'm not feeling any oracle after doing a whole reading basically for this with oracle. Let's see. Let's close this out with a little memento mori, please, spirit. You got this. I mean, I say this like it's so easy. I'm just reading cards and you're, living your life, but you can. You can. My dad used to tell me, you know what, there's no can't in our vocabulary. It's how. If you're having a hard time, how can you get help with it? When I tell you have to do it on your own, yeah, you have to do it on your own, but you can get help to help you do it on your own. I'm just gonna pull one, maybe because I did it with all the other ones. It is choice feeds fate. Oh, here. 'Tis true. Choice does feed fate. You always have a choice. Always, always, always. And again, whatever butterfly effect you are going to have on this world, remember, the divine is sending guardians your way and divine protection for a reason, whatever it might be. And again, you might not know it. It may not be like you're not like finding the next cure for whatever diseases, but it's something that only your butterfly wing could create, right? I don't know, but they got their eye on you, so don't squander this. Get your shit together. Get your shit together. Come on. Alright guys, I'm so tired. I probably could have done this like 72 hours ago. Alright, I hope you have a great night, and I'll talk to you on the next reading. Bye-bye.